There is a place on this planet where the wind screams louder than memory, where the ice is older than language itself, and where, beneath 2 miles of frozen silence, something may be waiting. Tonight, we're heading to the Forbidden Continent. Welcome to the other side of normal. Yes, welcome back. This is the other side of normal, where reality is just a suggestion. Hello. Antarctica. Fucking nuts, innit? All white. Nothing there. Quote marks. Speech marks. Speech marks? Maybe. Antarctica has sat at the bottom of every map like a forgotten footnote. White, blank, empty. Job done. See you later. But that's what we're told anyway. There's nothing there. Oh no, there's nothing there. Let me tell you, if someone's telling me there's nothing there, I'm going to think there's something there. Because I like conspiracies and stuff. But what if the emptiness is deliberate? What if the most isolated continent on Earth is not isolated at all, but controlled? That's more fitting with the people in charge. Tonight we're going deep. And when I say deep, I don't mean Facebook uncle in the comment section deep. I mean historical documents, military expeditions, government treaties, unexplained satellite anomalies, all the fun shit, as I always say. This is not about belief. This is about questions. And this part of the world is built on questions. I got some fucking questions. Some facts for you. Antarctica is cold. True story. It's the coldest, driest, windiest place on Earth. Temperatures below -80. Winds above 200 miles an hour. But here's the first strange detail. Antarctica is the only continent in the world owned by no one. Not even Trump. And let's be honest, he owns a ton of shit. Got hotels, apparently. Found that out the other day. But this continent is controlled by many. In 1959, 12 nations signed the Antarctic Treaty. Piece of paper. Look at a pen, but it states that Antarctica shall be used for peaceful purposes only. No military activity, no weapons testing, no mineral mining, no territorial expansion. Again, paper. If it's on paper, it's fact, innit? Beautiful. But here's the quote directly from the treaty, right? You listening? Good. At least one of you is. Pretty sure of that. Probably my mate Nathan or Rob. They're the only friends that give me any feedback. And, lamb chops, Jessup, thanks for your input. Back to the quote. Antarctica shall be used for peaceful purposes only. Peaceful. Now, I don't know what else it can be used for, to be honest, because you can't have a war in 200 mile an hour winds at -80, can you? Jesus. Now ask yourself, since when do the world's superpowers all peacefully agree on anything without a financial motive? The same governments that argue over airspace, trade routes and fishing quotas suddenly agree to leave an entire continent untouched. That's unity, that is. And it's also very fucking unusual. It's the political equivalent of everyone in the pub going silent at the same time. If that happened, Oh shit. What's going on? Or if you're in a pub in the valleys, that's what happens when someone new walks in. Who the fuck is he? He can fuck off. That sort of thing. Right, so here's a couple of theories that are floating around the old web. Nazi theory. Now we're going back to 1946. The United States launches Operation High Jump. Officially, it was a training exercise, a research mission, a post-war Antarctic expedition led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Unofficially, it was the largest Antarctic military operation in the history of the world. 4,700 men, 13 ships, 33 aircraft. That's not a science fair project, is it? That's an invasion-sized deployment. And it ended early. Admiral Byrd returned months ahead of schedule. Then something interesting happened, all right? In a Chilean newspaper interview in 1947, Byrd reportedly warned the following. The United States should adopt measures of protection against the possibility of an invasion of the country by hostile planes coming from the polar regions. Hostile planes? From the polar regions? Now, conspiracy theorists claim that Operation High Jump encountered something, advanced aircraft, unknown technology, possibly remnants of a secret Nazi base called... one second. I'm going to have to Google how to say that. Neuschwabenland. Not bad. The theory goes like this. During World War II, Nazi Germany established a secret Antarctic base. Some claim it was called Base 211. Others believe advanced technology, even UFO-like craft, were developed there. After the war, the United States allegedly went to neutralize the threat and failed. Is there proof? No direct proof. But there are anomalies. Why did the mission end early? Why were there reported aircraft losses? Why did Byrd speak of threats from the poles? Why? Now, let's stay grounded by her. There is zero verified evidence of Nazi UFO fortresses under Antarctic ice. But the scale of high jump was unusual. That's all I'm saying. And when governments overreact, it's usually because they're underinformed or over-alarmed. Anyway, here's where it gets even stranger. Some claim Admiral Byrd didn't just encounter enemies. They say he flew into the Earth. The Hollow Earth theory suggests that Antarctica is home to an entrance leading to an inner civilization. Advanced beings, lush landscapes, even a hidden sun inside the planet. There are alleged diary entries attributed to Byrd describing flying over green valleys inside the Earth and meeting tall, advanced humanoids warning humanity about nuclear weapons. Now pause. Again, there is no verified record of these diary entries in official military archives. But the myth doesn't die. Why? Because Antarctica is the only place left on Earth that feels unknowable. Space is far away. The ocean is deep. But Antarctica is here and we can barely touch it. It's like when your mate who says he's fine but never lets you upstairs. Suspicious. So, what about ancient civilizations beneath the ice? Now we're moving into archaeology. Satellite imaging over the years has revealed strange geometric formations underneath Antarctica ice. Some appear pyramid-like. Cue the internet exploding. Are there pyramids in Antarctica? Mainstream geology says no. The formations are known as nunataks, mountain peaks protruding through ice, shaped by erosion. But the conspiracy angle asks, what if Antarctica wasn't always frozen? Here's a fact coming right your way. Antarctica was once green. Fossils of palm trees and tropical vegetation have been discovered there, roughly 90 million years ago. Antarctica had a temperate climate one day, back in the day. Now imagine this. If Antarctica was ice-free thousands or even tens of thousands of years ago, some point to the Perry-Rees map of 1513, the map allegedly shows Antarctica's coastline without ice, centuries before Antarctica was officially discovered. Historians argue it depicts distorted South America, but that question still lingers to this day. How did ancient cartographers draw something they were not meant to know? And if Antarctica holds fossilized forests, what else might it hold? Civilizations, structures, technology? Or just rocks shaped like wishful thinking? Antarctica is a known hotspot for UFO conspiracy lore. Reports of unidentified aerial phenomena over the continent have circulated for decades. Google Earth users have pointed to strange shadows in the ice, circular indentations, etc. Metallic-looking shapes embedded in glaciers. Are they the alien craft? Probably not. But here's the real psychological hook. Antarctica is a blank canvas, and secrecy loves blank canvases. Another theory, the blackout theory. Now this one is subtle. Why is civilian travel to Antarctica heavily restricted? Gotta get over that ice wall first, boy! Yes, you can visit via cruise ships. Yes, research stations operate legally. But you cannot freely explore the interior. You cannot wander, you cannot mine, you cannot settle. Everything is controlled under international agreements. Don't forget about that piece of paper. Very important, that. Now compare that to the Arctic, where nations aggressively claim resources. Why is one pole exploited and the other protected? Officially, environmental preservation. Unofficially, is for control. Some theorists argue that Antarctica contains vast mineral resources, oil, rare earth metals, deliberately kept hidden until global conditions demand them. Others suggest there are discoveries too destabilizing to reveal. Advanced microbes will fucking kill us all. Ancient pathogens, or artifacts that rewrite history. Is that plausible? Abso-fucking-lutely. Antarctica holds ice cores that preserve atmospheric history going back 800,000 years. It is literally a time capsule. And sometimes the past just is a little bit inconvenient. Ooh, secret meetings and elite visits. Over the years, several high-profile figures have visited Antarctica. Politicians, royalty, religious leaders. Now, on the surface, this makes sense. It's a scientific frontier. But conspiracy communities light up whenever powerful individuals go south. Why? Because Antarctica is one of the only places where global leaders can meet away from the media. No press helicopters, no paparazzi, no accidental recordings, just ice and silence. And whatever you choose to discuss. Is it proof of secret summits? No, but it is very convenient. And power loves convenience. Like a cat loves knocking things off a table just to watch them fall. Watch the anger in your fucking face. Also, Beneath Antarctica's ice are over 400 subglacial lakes. One of the most famous is Lake Vostok. It has been sealed under ice for roughly 15 million years. When Russian scientists drilled into it, concerns exploded about contamination. Why? Because if life exists there, it evolved in total isolation. Now imagine discovering a microorganism completely alien to surface ecosystems. Would that be announced calmly or carefully? This is where conspiracy thinking thrives. Secrecy plus silence plus isolation equals narrative fuel. But here's the grounded reality. Most findings from Antarctic research are published openly, peer-reviewed, transparent, and yet not everything government knows becomes public immediately. That's not conspiracy, that's geopolitics at its finest. But why does Antarctica attract so much conspiracy? Let's zoom out a bit. Why does Antarctica magnetize these theories? Because it represents the unknown. Human beings hate blank spaces, so we fill them in. With fear, with imagination, and with a lot of suspicion. The map used to have dragons drawn at the edges. Now we have Google Earth and still think there's something lurking. Antarctica is our last dragon. And maybe we need it to be. Because if the world is fully mapped, fully explained, fully understood, then the mystery dies. And I'll have fuck all to do. And mystery is oxygen for the curious mind. Now let me say this clearly. There is no verified evidence of alien bases, Nazi superweapons, Hollow Earth civilizations, or buried pyramids in Antarctica. None. But governments do tend to withhold information. Military operations are rarely transparent, and power does not volunteer vulnerability. So while the Wilder claims lack of evidence, the instinct to question authority, that's healthy. Just don't let questioning turn into believing every iceberg is a UFO with a park-in ticket. Skepticism cuts both ways. You can't mock mainstream sort of narratives and then swallow internet ones whole. That's like saying you don't trust the chef, but then eating raw chicken because a stranger winked to do. Do you know what I mean? Here's the uncomfortable truth, all right? The biggest secret of Antarctica is that it may not have one. And that's even harder to accept. Because if there's no hidden alien citadel, no underground Reich, no ancient Atlantean power grid, the mystery is just ours to keep. We created it. Antarctica becomes a mirror. It reflects our distrust of institutions, our hunger for cosmic meaning, our suspicion that something bigger is happening behind closed doors, and maybe that suspicion isn't about ice at all. Maybe it's just about power. So tonight, as the winds tear across the Antarctic plateau, as research stations glow faintly in endless darkness, ask yourself this. If there were something hidden there, would you honestly expect to be told? And if there isn't, why do you feel like it should be? Because sometimes the coldest place on Earth isn't a continent. It's the gap between what we're told and what we believe. But on a personal note, I'm very much a sit on the fence kind of guy. I'll admit that. But I am drawn to all these stories, and the underground thing I love it. And if I'm going to believe anything, I would believe that the government are hiding something and there's lizard people underneath. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. Another installment of The Other Side of Normal. As usual, if you've enjoyed tonight's deep dive into the frozen edge of reality, share it with someone who still thinks Antarctica is just ice. Email your thoughts and theories to theothersideofnormal@outlook.com. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Reddit, we're on X. I'm on everything, baby. I'm all over the place. And I'm doing all my mates' heads in with it. And I fucking love it. Because nothing makes me happier than pissing my two best men off. Somewhere tonight, the wind is moving across a continent no one truly owns. Across ice that remembers things we never saw. And beneath 2 miles of silence, whether it's secret or just stone, something is still buried. And the cold always keeps its mouth shut.